Here's a question. How could a senior State Department official get a job in a critical position that usually requires a security clearance with a resume loaded with embellishments and misleading claims? That actually happened. According to an exclusive NBC News investigation, in April, Mina Chang was appointed Deputy Assistant Secretary in the State Department's Bureau of Conflict and Stability Operations. On her resume, she falsely claimed to be a Harvard Business School alumna, said she addressed both the Democratic and Republican national conventions, get that, and implied she had testified before Congress. Chang also said she had been featured on the cover of Time magazine for her work as CEO of a nonprofit called Linking the World. None of that is true. In a 2017 video posted on her nonprofit's website, she's asked about the cover.
Here you are in Time magazine. Congratulations. Tell me about this cover and how this came to be.
Well, we started using drone technology in disaster response. And so that was when the whole talk of how is technology being used to save lives in disaster response scenarios are being used. And I suppose I brought some attention to that.
I guess she did. In fact, that cover was a fake. A Time magazine spokesperson tells NBC News the cover is just not authentic. Joining me now with the inside scoop, Dan DeLuz, National Security and Global Affairs reporter for NBC's investigative unit. Dan, this is stunning. How does this happen? How did she get in? Who was pulling strings for her?
Well, that's a very good question. As you pointed out, there are all these misleading claims on her resume. And then she tried to leverage her NGO, Linking the World. And she presented herself as a globe-trotting humanitarian. And then there's one key detail. She had a key friend or contact, the Undersecretary for Management at the State Department, Brian Bulatao, who's a lifelong friend of Mike Pompeo, the Secretary of State, a West Point classmate of his. He did attend a fundraiser for her NGO in Dallas, and he donated more than $5,000. So that was the one connection we found to the Trump administration, because she doesn't have a record of being involved with the Trump political campaign.
And she was, I guess Congress started asking questions about her. Maybe somebody at the State Department tipped them off. I don't know whether or not. But in any case, when she was being asked questions, she was originally being considered for an even more senior job at USAID, overseeing a USAID in Asia, which is like $1 billion budget. Tell me how that could be possible.
That's right. So before she got her current job, she was nominated for this very top senior job at U.S. Agency for International Development, overseeing all their work across Asia, which is involving more than $1 billion, a large number of staff, a very senior, responsible position. And she was up for Senate confirmation. And then in the meantime, she was appointed to her current job as this Deputy Assistant Secretary in the State Department, overseeing stabilization operations, which is a six-figure salary, also a serious job. And then, for some reason, they've never explained publicly, in September, the nomination for the USAID job was withdrawn without explanation. But that happened after the Senate committee staff had asked for more details, more documents involving her professional experience and her nonprofit.
Now, you have a couple of other wonderful details here that she also, on her bio, says she's a graduate of an Army War College program. It actually was a 4-day seminar that many people could have attended. So what is her status now? Is she still there, or has she been, moved aside?
There's been no comment from the State Department. She is still on the job. In fact, some of these details that are misleading or apparently false are still on her official biography on the State Department website right now as we speak. So as far as we know, she's still on the job.
Well, maybe somebody on Capitol Hill would ask a couple of questions about that, because we don't seem to be getting questions answered at the State Department these days. Dan, thank you so much for bringing us this story. We really appreciate it. It's great reporting.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me, or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.